Hello YouTube, Red Future here. This is my second video. Well, what is communism? When I talk to people about it, most of the time they don't have either the right idea or any idea what it even is. Hopefully this video can clarify that a little bit. Communism is a socio-economic theory. It describes how society is developed over time from feudalism to what will eventually be socialism. Marxism divides history into really three eras: feudalism, capitalism, and socialism. Now keep in mind, feudalism in a Marxist sense is not the same as it is in a historical sense. Whereas in a historical sense, feudalism describes a particular type of monarchy where it's divided amongst different fiefdoms and whatnot, with the king having little power compared to the people that rule in his place in these localized eras. Feudalism in a Marxist sense refers to the mode of production that existed at the time. So it includes everything from the Roman Republic to the Babylonian Empire to the Kingdom of England, because their economies all function the same general way. The same class divisions pretty much existed. There was some variation, but overall it was the same type of an economy. Now, communism explains how the class antagonisms produced by the distribution of wealth between the classes will eventually cause the lower classes to overthrow the upper classes. In feudalism to capitalism, this occurred when an expanding middle class during the late Middle Ages produced enough antagonisms for them eventually to overthrow the old order. Now, there were still monarchies and whatnot, but the power had began its mass overflow straight into the capitalist class, and the monarchs and really any government ruling body became subservient to them. Marxist theory more importantly explained how, when that happened, it produced two new classes that replaced all the others: the proletariat and the bourgeoisie, or put simply, the capitalist ruling class and the working class. I myself am part of the working class. I go day to day, I will go to a factory or wherever it is I have been working at the time. I sell myself for wage labor, and most of what wealth I produce will go to the capitalist himself rather than me. I will get a mere fraction of what he gets. We can go on to the ethicalness about that in another video. But the point of the matter is, Marxist theory explains why this happened, and more importantly, where this is going. See, the new class antagonisms that are produced between the proletariat and the bourgeoisie are heading towards yet another overthrow of the ruling classes by the lower one. In this case, the proletariat, the only lower class that exists now. This will produce what Marx would predict, a new society that only has one class. And the reason for this is unlike the previous two eras, because of the Industrial Revolution, the productive forces of mankind have increased tremendously. Whereas before, man can only do what he can do with his own two hands. Now, with a mere barely any effort on his part, he can produce massive volumes of wealth disproportionate to himself. As such, there is no longer a reason for wealth to be divided between certain segments of society. There's no reason to prioritize it for people. The amount of wealth one person can generate can cover tons of people. As such, when society begins to overthrow its ruling class again, he predicts it will be into what is called socialism, where the mode of production, all the means of production, has been put from the ruling class into the hands of the working people. This will then remove all the structure of society as before that is preventing society from progressing further into what he calls communism. This would be communism being actually vague in this sense, as it is explaining a society that has now developed into a single complete class. Socialism is just merely the period going from when capitalism ends up until that point where that change is taking place before it fully develops into communism. Alright, hopefully this explanation was at least generally easily understood by you. I'm still new to this, blah blah blah. You know, tell me what you think, you know, suggestions, tips, whatever you want to be. I want to do more of these videos, but I just want to, you know, talk into the wind here. If you got something like a criticism, I want to hear it. So, it's the Red Future. See you next time.